Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Daily Market Report brought to you by Mike Bjork. Today is Friday, so happy Friday to you. I hope you guys got great upcoming plans. And it's June 12th. Hey, we just got a couple economic news releases to go over today, and we'll start off the Producer Price Index level for the month of May. So back in April, we had a pullback, so contracted 0.4%. Forecasts come up at 0.5%, and it did increase 0.5%. Now, this is the inflation level on the wholesale side of things. So it's looked at, but it's not weighed very heavily, primarily because even though the costs sometimes go up on the wholesale side, it's not always passed on to the consumer. And our biggest focus is always on the consumer, what's affecting the consumer. And then we also got the consumer sentiment, which is the first reading, and then we'll get the final towards the end of the month. So last month we had 90.7 final, and then which dropped. It was much higher, and it dropped down to 90.7. Forecast is supposed to increase a little bit to 91, and it jumped up to 94.6. So this is the initial gauge for the month of June. We'll get the final towards the end of the month here. Stock market's down again. After a big rally yesterday, it pulled back a little bit, and it's kind of continuing that. And a lot of it has to do with talks being broken off with Greece. So there's the default concern is intensified a bit more between Greece and its debtors. As to having some stalemate, and it's getting to be a point where people are wondering, does Greece even have the money to be able to repay their debtors? And meanwhile, you got the European Central Bank also sending more money, kind of ramping up their liquidity and giving them more aid. And again, they may never get that money back. So it just kind of might leave a black eye on the ECB's policies and everything. Let's take a look here at the bond market and see what's going on. So as a result, we're getting a nice little rally here today. So we got a nice improvement in the interest rates from yesterday. We did have a nice improvement during the day yesterday with the rates. So when the market pulled back on the equity markets, some of that money came back into the bonds, and then thus we had an improvement in our pricing yesterday. And then this continued today with today's pricing. It showed more improvement. So let's see if this continues. As you see, a couple days ago, we reached this level, and we got slammed and pulled right back down. We'll see if we can do this, because long term we are in a downward trend, which means that rates have been climbing. But for the past 2 weeks, we've been seeing some pretty sharp drops, with the interest rates going upwards. So we'll have to see if we can somehow, if this is going to be a trend going upwards and improve this, and we hit the bottom. It takes, some time for that to see if that develops or not. Right now it's only about 1 or 2 days of this. We need to see a little longer period, maybe at least a week, to see if it goes upwards. If this will be a trend, breaking the trend and going getting to be more of a bull market for the bonds. But a lot of the good news for us in this scenario is that it seems like investors are getting more resigned with the data that's coming out that the Fed will be raising rates at least September or on. Next week we do got the FOMC meeting. It'll be the first time they start talking about a possible rate hike. They don't anticipate any rate hike happening. Most projections are at least at the minimum starting at September's meeting or sometime later in the year. But it looks like they're getting more and more resigned that the Fed may actually start raising rates, and you may see basically a correction in the stock market as a result, which will help out our interest rates here in the bonds. All right, so we'll have to kind of wait and see if that is the trend. And again, of course, part of this is Greece, so what happens with Greece. All right, folks, hey, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.